All right, welcome back. Probably open up the stream so I can see the comments. I don't know what happened earlier with the video cutting out. Must have been something on YouTube's end. I did change the URL for the GoFundMe, so I don't remember what the whole thing is. I should probably check that. I don't know how to check that actually. So we're at 13% of the first goal. So thank you very much, anyone who's donated so far. We are going to look into this new tool that I've been building to learn more about how all these industries are tied together and basically show the stuff that they don't want people to know. I do not know how to use GoFundMe that well. Why is the other one not on here? I'm so confused. There's a fly flying around my head. Yeah, maybe I need to do it on my computer, not on my phone. All right. What's up, Angela, Jason, Ben? Thanks for coming back, guys. Probably don't need this. I don't stream that much using my laptop anymore, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. Does that look like it's cut off a little bit? Okay. So I've had this idea for a little while, and I just started putting this together. So some of the stuff on here might not be 100% accurate. It's still kind of a work in progress, but this is what I got so far. Let's see, we'll open this up. And so there's a issue right there. I can't see the whole thing. But this is basically most of the idea behind this project. Can I like make this bigger? You can see it on one of the streams, but not the other stream. Okay, well, this is the whole. If you're on the portrait stream, the vertical stream, then you can see the whole page. But it doesn't let me scroll. So the witness board is a visual research and investigation tool built to map, document, and expose the systems behind animal exploitation industries worldwide. Hopefully, in the future, I can roll this out so other people can use it. But right now, it's just a work in progress. So there's basically 3 questions that I'm trying to figure out. Who's responsible? Where does the money go? And what does the system protect? What's up, Evil? Thanks for being here. So yeah, you can't see that on the other stream. It's just cut off the stream a little bit, but now it's stuck to the bottom. Okay, there it goes. Actually, I can't. Oh, it pauses when I do that. I'm learning. Alright, so let's dig into Ridglan Farms here. This is what I have so far for Ridglan Farms. So basically, if you want to use this in the future, it starts with this page. So basically, you can build the investigation. This is like the Canvas investigation board where you create these in here. So you can put in, a title. You can tag what it's about, put in a little description. You can put sources in there. You can upload a picture and things like that too. I need to go through it and add pictures in. Some of them have some pictures, but some don't. And then you connect different things. So you can see all these are all the connections in this web. Here's like the University of Georgia, and I need to move them around so they're not overlapping each other as much. I should get my mouse so I'm not clicking. But you can see how they kind of branch out, and then some of them are connected together. There's all these different events, people, locations, investigations, a bunch of different things, different corporations and organizations, some like private companies, some are like tied to the government. So I need to work on moving some of these things around so they're not all overlapping each other. But basically it takes all this information and then it puts it on this Explorer page. So every card there is here in the directory, and it's they're tagged by these different types. So there's people, corporations, events, organizations, government, laws, patterns, statistics, investigation, and location. So all these different things you can basically filter it through. Tells you how many. And then if you want to learn more about it, you can click on it and it'll go to the detail page, and it has the sources, a little bit of information about whatever that topic is. So it's this person who was actually the president and co-owner of Ridglan Farms, joined the company back in the 60s, 2 years after it was founded. He's a vet who recognized the business opportunity in breeding standardized research beagles. He was raised on a farm and pursued vet medicine before entering the beagle breeding industry. He was added to the Wisconsin Vet Examining Board investigation in February 2025. as the third Ridglan vet under scrutiny. He was one of the key decision makers responsible for decades of operations at the facility. Basically, we should just start at the middle. So Ridglan Farms, that's what this board is about. That has the most connections than anything else. If you look on here, locations, there's 32 connections for Ridglan Farms. So this will give you a little bit of detail about it, a couple of sources. Some of the links aren't perfect, but here's all the connections to Ridglan Farms. And then there's actually a map here too that shows whatever you're clicked on and then all the connections to that specific card. So there's the 32 connections. But yeah, founded in 1966 in Wisconsin. The same year, the Federal Animal Welfare Act was signed. Isn't that crazy? Desolate country road behind a row of evergreens, 10 miles outside. I don't know how to say that. The facility consists of 3 warehouse-style buildings, 16 whelping rooms, 20 kennels each, 4 nurseries with 200 to 300 puppies each, 2 grower barns, an enclosed grassy area, and a slurry pit. Only 15 employees, with a revenue of $2.5 million, holds 10% of the national market share in research beagles. They sold almost 7,000 dogs between January 2022 and July 2025. Yeah, so let's see, where do we go from here? Let's just start with the investigation. We can bounce back and forth. A purpose-bred beagle breeding operation. For 60 years, they held a USDA Class A breeding and selling and Class R for conducting research licenses. At its peak, they housed over 3,000 dogs and sold thousands of beagles annually to pharmaceutical companies, universities, government-funded research labs. There's been multiple undercover investigations, 311 state violations, and a court-ordered criminal investigation, ultimately leading to the settlement requiring them to surrender its breeding license. This board maps the full network of people, companies, institutions, and regulatory bodies involved. So you can go to their website here. I haven't actually gone to their website. This is Ridglan Farms. Look at the puppies they have on the fucking homepage. Yikes. Go to their website and send them an email and tell them how you feel. High quality and healthy animals for your scientific and medical discovery. Wow. Services. Oh, guess what? You can't see their services unless you're logged in. You have to register first. That's fucked up. Alright, documented conditions. Housing. Dogs kept in small, bare, stacked metal cages inside windowless warehouses. No access to the outdoors. It's interesting, the other card said that they have a A grassy area? A fenced in, did it say fenced in grassy area? The dogs never go out there though. It's like, what is that area for? That's just like the yard. No access to outdoors, natural light, never taken on walks. Mass surgical removal of vocal cords, 30 to 40 dogs at a time, every few weeks, performed by non-vet staff using scissors. No anesthesia, no pain relief, no aftercare. Dogs were held down while mouths were pried open. Practice reportedly discontinued in 2018. So yeah, they don't do it anymore, but they used to. Cherry eye surgery. They cut off their tear glands. Unlicensed employees, no anesthesia, no blood control. They would bleed profusely for several minutes. Horrible ammonia and odor levels, 30% of the enclosures showing rust or wire coating damage. Failed drainage systems, exhaust fans coated with poop, organic material. It probably just means shit. Circling, pacing, wall bouncing. Daily dog fights, and then they were not separated afterwards. Like, they just really did not care at all. All right, we'll go back to the main card, and then we can go into like the people. I just read a little bit about him, right? The president, co-owner. He was responsible for a lot of the decisions. Then there was the lead vet, Dr. Richard Van Domelen. If that's how you say that. Lead vet, facility manager. His vet license was suspended by the Wisconsin Vet Examining Board on September 30th, 2025. Accused of delegating the surgical procedures, including the cherry eye removal and devocalizations, to unlicensed staff. So it was this guy that told unlicensed people to torture the dogs, basically. He rejected the suspension, or the vet examining board initially rejected suspension in March and approved an agreement instead after a surprise inspection found record-keeping problems. They held an emergency vote to suspend. Here's something about the examining board. Wisconsin State Board responsible for vet licensing. They received the complaints. Again, look at him next. I think he's on there. Initially rejected suspension. Or is that the guy we were just talking about? No, it was Van that we were just talking about. Yeah, so here. Oh no, he's the president. Or was the president. So who's the third guy? Because that was two of them. Must be him. Ralph. So it was James, Richard, and then Ralph. Listed on LinkedIn as DVM owner of Ridglan Animal Care Systems. He was responsible for the care of the animals. Doesn't say much about him. But he must have been the third vet that was in the investigation. So here's a couple of former employees. Whistleblower, and this guy testified. Scott and Matthew. From December 2021 to January 2022, he only worked there for a short time. Testified about daily dogfights between animals, cherry eye surgeries performed without anesthesia by untrained employees, and dogs never being taken outside their cages. His testimony was crucial to the legal proceedings and special prosecutor investigation. Ridglan later sued him along with Dane for dogs for interference. Lawsuit that was dismissed with prejudice as protected free speech. And then here it's got a card about them suing them. Co-founders Robinson and Hagenow, former employee. They were sued. Willful and malicious injury to business. Improperly obtained a customer list and wrote letters encouraging customers to stop buying. Judge Jacob Frost dismissed the case with prejudice, ruling that Dane for Dogs' actions were protected free speech, a significant legal precedent for animal advocacy organizations. So this guy's awesome, Scott Gilbertson. And that judge too, for pushing dismissing their lawsuit. Okay, so let's check out this Matthew guy. Worked there for 4 years. 4 years. This is back when they did the mass devocalization surgeries, 30 to 40 dogs at a time every few weeks, performed by non-vet staff without anesthesia. They used scissors to cut the vocal cords while holding the dogs down and prying their mouths open. Isn't that insane? The documented conditions. We went through this already. Okay. Can go. So why did they use beagles? They're the preferred breed because of their docile temperament, uniform size, and the industry's long history of using them. Pharmaceutical, drug toxicity testing, cosmetic testing, biomedical research, safety studies for chemicals and consumer products, field safety studies, Department of Interior studies, and pesticide registration. Their trusting and people-pleasing nature is the trait that makes them beloved family pets and also easy to handle in a lab. It's fucking wild. Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection. They're the ones that cited Ridglan Farms with 311 violations from a couple of investigations. In 308 counts of inhumane handling and 3 counts. Inspector was nauseous. The rust. And the poop on the fans. Yeah. So that was that. The USDA. And the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. They go in and they inspect the plants and the animals, the warehouses. They enforced the Animal Welfare Act at research breeding facilities, issued 2 citations under the Class A and Class R for entirely absent medical records for treatment of suffering dogs, failing to justify the number of dogs used in 4 experiments. Rise for Animals documented the same USDA inspector was inside to every Ridglan inspection, raising serious concerns about regulatory capture and cozy relationship between regulator and regulated. Yeah, that's interesting. The same inspector would go there over and over again. Strawberries. Yeah, it's sad. Raya.
She's a little calm today.
Yeah, she's still. The special prosecutor. If you guys follow Jeremy Loeb's channel, he just did a video about this guy. Tim Grunke. He refused to prosecute Ridglan. A 6-hour evidentiary hearing was held before Judge Rhonda Lanford. January 9th, Judge Lanford found probable cause of multiple criminal violations, felony animal cruelty, and multiple misdemeanors. Ordered appointment of special prosecutor Tim Grunke. February 5th, and then on October 28th, a settlement was reached. And if you watch Jeremy's video, they talk about I think it was one of these was a radio station or something. They called him and they talked to him and they asked him if he ever actually went there, and he never even went to the place. He was assigned to investigate them for most of the year, and he never even went there. County District Attorney appointed as special prosecutor after Judge Lanford found probable cause of criminal violations. He investigated the case and ultimately negotiated the settlement, requiring them to surrender its breeding license. Critics questioned whether the settlement, no criminal charges, modest fine, was sufficient given the severity and duration of documented abuse. So yeah, you could go check out WTMJ. They did a call with him, or go watch Jeremy's channel. I think he watches the same video that's linked here. Talks about it. What's up, Anik? What's up, Axel? Yeah, so that's what we're investigating here, the Ridglan Farms. Let's go back. Ridglan Farms here, and we're just going down this list of everything that it's connected to. So we've already looked into some of the vets. This guy was the owner, the lead vet, and then somebody that was in charge of taking care of the animals. All 3 vets, they were all under investigation. These are the two whistleblowers that exposed them for all the horrible things they were doing. Even the USDA and APHIS gave them a couple of violations, 2 citations. There was a petition. Let's look at this. January 2026, the Non-Human Rights Project. Non-Human Rights Project. I don't know if I've ever heard about them before. A habeas corpus petition on behalf of the 2,000 Beagles at Ridglan seeking recognition of their right to be free from cruelty under Wisconsin law. I wonder if they're tied in with Wayne and DXZ. Expressed sympathy but ultimately dismissed the case. Judge Stephen, I don't know how to say his last name. The NHRP and the Animal Activist Legal Defense Project vowed to appeal one of the most ambitious legal efforts to extend legal personhood protections to animals in a commercial breeding facility. Let's see if this link works. Oh, holy pop-ups. Yeah, go check out their site, nonhumanrights.org. I'd never heard about them before. Keep that open, I'll come back to that. The Non-Human Rights Project. Basically, it just says the same thing. Back to Ridglan. Okay, so now here it gets into the DXE rescues, the events. Nice. The energy was really good at the protest, so I left home feeling good about our work. Very nice. The CAFT group in the Netherlands has been stepping up the pressure. Nice. Yes, glad to hear you're feeling better, Axel. All right, 2017, there was an event here, an open rescue. Wayne, Ava, and Paul Picklesmeyer. That's a awesome name. Picklesmeyer. Picklesmeyer? Maybe I'm probably saying it totally wrong. DXE entered the facility and rescued 3 beagles, Julie, Anna, and Lucy. They documented dogs confined in small, dirty, stacked metal cages, foul-smelling, windowless sheds, spinning in circles from boredom. All 3 activists were arrested approximately a year later and charged with felony burglary and felony theft, facing up to 16 years in prison, $35,000 in fines. In a stunning reversal, the state dropped all the charges 10 days before the trial was scheduled. So then there's a card for each of them. Here's the right to rescue, the DXE site. Call them and email them. Righttorescue.com/Ridglan. There's Ava. There's Paul. There's Wayne. They're right there. Okay, and then let's go back. And there was the other one right here. Rescued 23 beagles. This is what just happened a week ago. Coalition to Save the Ridglan Dogs conducted a mass open rescue. Approximately 60 protesters broke into the farms while about 100 supporters gathered nearby the property. Activists claim 23 beagles were rescued, 27 people were arrested by Danes County Sheriff's Office, including Wayne and actress Alexandra Paul. Activists were released, like the next day or two. Publicly urged the rescue on January 15th. Ridglan alerted the authorities and the FBI in advance. The FBI basically said they didn't want to be involved, which is pretty funny. What's up, Ian? Yeah, right. They don't want it to be brought to trial. That's something that Wayne said in a meeting. We were in a meeting yesterday because we're going to go. He's going to go back to Ridgeland Farm, try to rescue the rest of the dogs, and I'm trying to go with them. I'm probably just going to go either way, but the pinned comment, there should be a pinned comment. I set up actually, no, it's just the Streamlabs because I'm on Streamlabs. So if you donate, it'll come across the stream. But I did set up a GoFundMe to try to collect some funds to travel out there and rescue the dogs. They're doing another action in a couple of weeks. You can sign up, join, pledge your support. Go to savethedogs.io. Give them your email and stuff, and you can come out to Wisconsin and rescue the dogs. It's trying to get like 1,000 people together this time. So it's going to be like the biggest open rescue ever. Axel, I heard you talking about riding a bike or going to Canada. I've been thinking about riding my scooter across the country, and I did some research on it. And there's a guy that did something similar in Europe. I don't know where he went. I forget. He traveled all over the place though. He went like to a couple different countries riding a scooter. And the way that he set it up was he got um I think his scooter was able to be charged while he was riding it. Maybe not. But he had a scooter attached to this little like trailer, I guess you want to call it. But it was just a solar panel and a battery. And it was, I guess, I don't know if it was charging while he was riding around or, he would have to stop and let it charge up. But he was always able to charge it no matter where he was because he had that battery and that solar panel and he would just like pull it with his scooter. Like that, I want to get something like that and then travel across the country on my scooter. I think it would be really cool. But you could do it. 1,200 miles, you could do it. All right, and then there is a couple of organizations here. Dane for Dogs. Check out Dane for Dogs. They're awesome. They've been working on this for a long time. Founded by Rebecca and Jamie. They spent years documenting and publicizing conditions at Ridglan Farms. The whistleblower worked with Dane for Dogs to access the database, which revealed the full buyer list, and then they wrote letters to the customers encouraging them to stop buying from Ridglan. In response, Ridglan sued them, and then that was dismissed by Judge Jacob Frost. And then it has them here. Led sustained local advocacy efforts against Ridglan Farms over several years. So very cool organization, very cool people. And then Rise for Animals, they did the other one. The other investigations, I think. National Animal Protection Organization. Through their Arlo transparency platform, they compiled comprehensive buyer documentation for years, 3 years. Created an interactive map documenting every confirmed shipment of dogs from Ridglan to its buyers. Wait, we're going to have to check that out. Is that here? Elanco. University of Georgia. What is that? TRS Lab. Also in Georgia. Damn. Stop. Who's barking at somebody like way across the street? Merck. This is where they sell their dogs. Washington University. Here's all their buyers right here. This is an interactive map, but there's LabCorp, Denver, Pennsylvania. So this is the other one that I actually made another investigation board about LabCorp. This is like an hour and a half away from me. Look at that. That was the projected number, and then that's where they came in at last year. It is definitely a failing business. Here's a picture of the dogs in here. They're all tied together. So Envigo is tied into them. LabCorp is tied into them. This is what it's called now. They changed their name. Look, it also Denver, Pennsylvania. Innovative. That's what Envigo's called now, and they're owned by LabCorp. I'm pretty sure. But look, Chicago, the University of Chicago, Northwest University, Washington University, a lot of schools, Colorado State University, Texas A&M University, California, University of Illinois, University of Georgia, Charles River Laboratories. This is a really big one too. Wisconsin University, Kansas State University, Iowa State University. Summit Ridge Farms in Susquehanna, Pennsylvania. That's near me also. With a name like that, it sounds like your like local family-owned farm. Just like Ridglan Farms. It doesn't sound like they're actually breeding and testing on dogs. That's really fucked up. You shouldn't be able to call your testing facility a farm. But yeah, go check out Rise for Animals too. Getting a phone call. Hold on, I gotta All right, sorry, I was on the phone. Man, somebody is really not liking me with the dogs here. Unless that was just, I don't know. Somebody like keeps complaining about the dogs here because that was the Department of Agriculture. Literally just called me to talk about the dogs. That's funny. Hold on, I got another message. I gotta take care of this. All right, hold on 1 second. I have to send somebody a message real quick. Oh, whoops, I forgot to start this. Hold on, sorry. Just it's gonna take me a minute here. Ooh, 1L. Can make sure I don't spell people's names wrong. I hate when people spell names wrong. Okay, I should be good now. I wonder who it is that keeps complaining about the dogs here. Because somebody called the police, and because Rose was out back limping around on her foot, that's because she's got that hurt leg and she hasn't had her surgery yet. So I think, I mean, there's only really one neighbor that can kind of see into my backyard like that. So I think maybe it's them. I don't know if they're calling like everybody they can. It's just like kind of crazy. Yeah, sorry, I was on the phone for a minute. But yeah, they sent the local police here. They sent the dog warden, which I guess is like a state level, and now they got the Department of Agriculture calling me because they're I have the treats that I've been making. I have them on my website that I've just put together, but you can't actually buy them on there. Um, but she was like, I can go on your website and buy them right now. I'm like, no, you can't. It might say that, but it doesn't. You can't actually buy them. So, um, but she doesn't like that. So somebody's like digging into all my stuff and trying to get me in trouble any way that they possibly can. What's up, John? What's up, JS? I can't see who the blue name is. It's like too dark. Is that Fly? What's up, Fly? Yeah, I do have a lot of dogs, but my dogs don't. I mean, Lulu does bark a lot sometimes, but they don't. They're not bad dogs. They're all pretty good dogs. My neighbor has a couple of dogs that bark and fight with each other a lot. Not actual fight, but like you know what I mean, play with each other a lot, and they get pretty loud. The neighbor that's been I think complaining about me has a hound dog that freaking howls super loud. There's the lady across the street has two dogs that are out barking sometimes. Back behind my garage, there's a couple of dogs over there that bark, and every time you walk by the house, they'll bark at you. And like everybody's got dogs, and some of them are more reactive than my dogs are. So it's just somebody that doesn't like me that's trying to get me in trouble. Ben, what are you saying? I can't scroll back up on the comments. Actually, I could probably do this. Yeah, no, you can't sell anything you make in your home. I have to have like I have to get them to come out and like inspect my kitchen or something like that. Um, which I was planning on doing at some point, but I have to like actually start measuring things and write down the recipes and everything. So I got it figured out it's pretty simple. It's only a couple ingredients. Um, but she said she was going to email me some information, so she just emailed it to me. So that's cool. They're just helping me get to the next steps quicker than I probably would have. Instead of me reaching out to the Department of Agriculture and not getting an email for a week, or having to reach out multiple times, they're reaching out to me, so it makes my job easier. If you can't do the GoFundMe, then you can do the Streamlabs. I don't think Streamlabs takes anything, so that would work. Um, if you want to check the GoFundMe link, it is on my channel. So just go to my channel, and it's the top link on my channel right now. But I think the GoFundMe works everywhere. But yeah, I appreciate it. Every dollar counts. I should have a pinned comment on here. Do I not have a pinned comment for the Streamlabs? It's just streamlabs.com/jacoblagatare, I think. I guess I don't have a pinned comment on here. I thought I had it pinned. But yeah, I did. I shared that website, right? The Pickles Pet Services website. I shared it with you guys on one of my streams, and I shared it on my one Facebook page that has like 15 people following it. So it's like there's like barely anyone on there, and I only put the website out there to have people test the website so I could work out any bugs that I didn't see. So you can't go on there and order the treats. Like you can, if you click, it looks like you can. You know what I mean? If you go there, you go to the shop, it's got the treats there. It says, what does it say? Like buy now or something like that. But if you click it, you can't actually give me money for them. Like there's no way to pay for them. Um, unless it put that. I should probably check that because I did update the services. So when you book a service, it does give you my Cash App and Venmo. I wonder if it did that to the treats as well. Maybe it does. Actually, I should probably make sure that it didn't do that for everything. But I have it basically so you would just like send me an email, but I'm not actually selling them. I've just been making them and giving them out to people. I gave them to a couple of people. And I don't, am I like not allowed to do that either? I don't know. Maybe I should have asked. Oh, it's only pinned on one. Oh, thanks, Ben. There, Ben just put it in here, so that's the other one. Even though it doesn't look like I can click on it. But yeah, streamlabs.com/jacoblagatare/tip. Streamlabs takes a small percentage, just like the buy me a coffee. But if I'm streaming on Streamlabs right now, so if you do tip through Streamlabs, it should read your message out. So that's kind of cool. Thank you, Fly. I appreciate it. And thank you, Axel. I will keep an eye out for the jerky. Um, I will send me an email. I will email you my address. Jason's got my address, so you can ask him if you guys are working together. So I'll send you some. I'll send you some of the treats, I guess. I don't know. Am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to trade you some jerky for some treats, or is the Department of Agriculture watching my stream? Are they going to get me in trouble for it? I don't even know. So where were we here? Now I got all distracted. So look at the next couple of cards here. Now we're into, what are these, corporations? Like it tells you how many dogs they sold. Almost 1,000 dogs to TRS, almost 850 to Illinois, almost 750 to Merck. LabCorp, not that many, but I think they do their own breeding. Covance and LabCorp, I'm pretty sure they breed their own beagles. That's a shit ton. Carcasses. They literally sold. So like yeah, I think they sell some of the dogs more than once. Or like they do their own research on some dogs, but then they sell the carcasses so that they can dissect them. So they'll that's just so crazy to me. Consistent customer, sold beagles, sold 19, sold puppies, sold dogs for COVID experiments. Competitor was shut down. Competitor last remaining. Very interesting stuff. I have to take a break for a second. I will be right back. Hi, buddy. He's such a big baby. Yeah, so what should we look into? How long have I been streaming? Can't tell. Probably need to let all the dogs out again. Bo's been outside. I'll meet you at the border. You guys are funny. What is Red Beast Enterprises? I've never heard of them. Also known as High Quality Research. Subject of PETA's undercover investigation. She documented a beagle named Temple whose vocal cords were cut by a facility vet without any pain relief. Wonder if was that here or was that at Ridglan? I don't know. Either way, fucking horrible. Yeah, the buy me a coffee is fine. I appreciate that. They take way less than YouTube does, so it's still way better than the super chats. But even a super chat, even if you just want to do a super chat, it's still something. So there's another tab here that has a map, so you can see whatever you're clicked on and all the connections there. So you can kind of like go to, this only has the one connection. You can kind of go through there and see the different connections. Click on the dots and it takes you from one to the other. So yeah, LabCorp. Let's see what they say about this because so now LabCorp is based out of Madison, Wisconsin, which is where Ridglan is. It's in the same county as Ridglan. I thought they were in New Jersey. I guess maybe they moved to Madison, Wisconsin. Why do you think they would move to the same place that Ridgeland is? Also operates a separate beagle facility in Dane County. So that takes me like to them. So you can click up here and it'll take you back to all the boards also. So look, I actually did an investigation into LabCorp. Covance and LabCorp. I have to we'll take some of the, I'll switch some of the dogs around and stuff. I guess I'll have to end the stream because I can't take my laptop with me. I don't know why YouTube had a problem earlier and the video just went out, and I reset the stream and it wouldn't come back, and then I stopped the stream and I started another stream and it was also just a black screen. So I don't know what's going on with the mobile streams, but it was not working earlier. But yeah, I'll do another stream maybe tomorrow, and we can look into Covance and LabCorp. Yeah, see, it was headquartered in Princeton, New Jersey, later Madison, Wisconsin. Founded as Corning Life Sciences, spun off and renamed Covance, was one of the world's largest drug development service companies. $2.7 billion. Ridglan Farms made $2.5 million. Covance made $2.7 billion. It was traded on the New York Stock Exchange. A lot of the companies that they are tied to are traded on the stock exchange. So here, rebrand and bury Covance to LabCorp. 2022. Covance had become synonymous with primate abuse. If you search Covance online, it'll return investigation footage, lawsuits. They eliminated the name. They effectively reset the company's search results and public identity. LabCorp annual reports avoid the phase animal testing using non-clinical safety assessment instead. So I was looking at this earlier, and I pulled this report up, their 10K. I have it right here. So this is the report. Oh, you can't see it on the top, can you? I put in preclinical, and it came up 12 times. There's 12 different times it talks about preclinical studies, and that's animal testing. That's what they mean when they say preclinical. Preclinical safety assessment. Tests on samples from preclinical studies. Perform testing services in support of preclinical studies. The preclinical and clinical testing. Controlled substances as a part of the services it provides in preclinical testing. So they talk about testing on animals a dozen times in this report. Preclinical services utilize animals in preclinical testing. New member? Thank you, Fly. Fly's a new member. Preclinical services rely on healthy research animal populations. Preclinical research activities must comply with animal welfare laws. That's the last spot that it's in this report. But yeah, we'll dig more into that later. Here's all the companies. Preclinical testing for Pfizer, for Johnson & Johnson, Merck. I don't know how to say that one. AstraZeneca. GSK, Gen. Competitor, Innovative, formerly Envigo. So you think that Envigo shut down, but they actually just shut down their breeding. Their selling of breeding dogs, right? I think just like Ridglan. So I think they can still breed their own dogs and still continue testing. They just don't sell the dogs. So these companies, instead of buying the dogs and doing their own tests, they just pay them to do the testing now. So they, but they changed the name. They changed the name. So now if you look up Envigo, if you look up Innovative, you might not find Envigo. It's just a way to separate them from what happened. But yeah, I got to go work with the dogs a little bit, and I guess make sure that I'm not selling those treats on my website. Yeah, I'm a turtle. See ya, Angela. You don't need an inspection. Do you mean to make the jerky? You can rent a ghost kitchen, rent out space in a ghost kitchen, and it'll already be certified and everything. You just go in and use it, make your stuff, and you're good. I think to get a permit though, if you're doing it in your own kitchen and you want to get like a permit, I'm pretty sure they'd have to come out and inspect it. I don't know, maybe it's different there, but it wouldn't make much sense to give permits and not do an inspection. You know what I mean? So then they could just like give permits to anybody. Like what if somebody's got like a really gross kitchen, I don't know. But yeah, we'll do more tomorrow. So thanks for being here, everybody. Thank you for the donations to help with travel expenses to get to Ridgeland. I'm gonna go and rescue some dogs. I'm gonna go into the facility and take dogs out. I don't really care about the charges or anything like that. I think it's more important that these dogs get saved from being tortured and killed in the future. So I will probably take the sledgehammer. I'll probably bring my own sledgehammer if I have to. And if I can take two dogs out, I'm going to take two dogs out. I got two arms. Maybe I'll get a backpack. I can put a dog in a backpack. One of those like backpacks that you get for dogs. You like unzip it and put the dog in and zip it back up. Their like legs can stick out. You ever seen them? People like carry their dogs on their backs. I'll carry one dog on my back and I'll carry one dog in my arms. And I know how to swing a sledgehammer, so I will definitely get into that place. It's probably going to be a little bit more secure, I would think. Like if I owned that place, I would make it way more secure. So like, especially participating, but I already ordered a mount for my chest to hold my phone. So I wanted something like that already. But I found one. I'm gonna stream the whole thing too. When I go there, I'm gonna stream like the whole thing. So I can put my phone right on my chest and just have both hands. All right. Well, if you can hear me, it looks like I'm buffering a little bit. Thanks, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Peace. Bo's knocking on the door.